This broadcast is sponsored by Keller Street Nails. Head over to their Facebook page and show some love. Welcome to Clouds and Clothesline. I'm Nico Nostalgia with my co-host Noah Walker. This is our first actual podcast. There's plenty more to come. We have quite a bit to go over tonight. We're going to go over the matches from April 19th. We're going to go over RCW matches, and we have a few giveaways from Keller Street Nails, so stick around until the end of the show for that. Noah, if you want to go over the RCW results.
Yeah, last Saturday night, RCW presented their 9th anniversary event. I'm going to go ahead and just go over the results here and give you a little details on each matchup. Match 1, Tank beat Mitchell Taylor in a match that didn't last real long. Tank made his surprise return to RCW that night. Match 2, Brandon Day beat Anthony Lee, Douglas Stout, and Jaron Skalka in a fatal four-way match. Match 3, Melanie Cruz successfully defended the RCW Women's Championship against Shauna Reed. Match 4, Team Biggie Smalls, Kevin Storm and Bruce Dillon successfully defended the RCW Tag Team Championships against Shady Chris Zion and Jorge Bravo. Match 5, Mojo the Voodoo King defeated Cody Hawk. Match 6, Drew Skills beat Sam Knight. Match 7, Noah Walker successfully defeated Stills to retain the RCW United States Championship. Match 8, the main event, Rush Jones successfully defended the RCW Heavyweight Championship against Impact star Moose. On this night, every RCW champion successfully defended their titles. Be sure to check out RCW May 17th for the next event in Mishawaka at the Patel Center for a golden opportunity.
Alright, so to actually introduce myself, I'm the new CCW General Manager. My name is Nico Nostalgia. This segment is called Under Fire. This is where we will interview several different workers from several different companies. It'll be random each week. We're not sure who we're going to do up until the last minute. But I figure it would be best to go ahead and interview you, Noah, since you are my co-host. You'd be the first one to get out of the way. Now, I've known you a long time, and this is probably the smallest that I've ever seen you, and from what I'm to understand, that's thanks to a certain diet.
Yeah, I purchased a diet through another worker by the name of Nick Cutler. Contact him on Facebook. He helps with all kinds of diets, whether you want to bulk up or you want to lose weight. He also does personal training online and in person, and it's honestly not that bad of a price, and it's one of the best investments I've ever made in my life. I started at a weight of about 232 pounds, 233. I'm down to 196 pounds, so I've lost about 35 and a half pounds. And I feel the lightest that I've felt in 8 years. I've lost 3 waist sizes, and I'm breathing better than I have since before I got out of high school. So it's a great investment. Definitely look him up on Facebook. Show him some love, support him, and invest. It'll be one of the best things you can do.
Yeah, that definitely seems like a pretty interesting diet. I think I might end up trying it out myself, gain a little bit of weight. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get right into this interview. How did you come up with the name Noah Walker?
I think it was like 2013. I was in a tag team with my real life cousin. It was pretty much like my little brother, insane being Brandon. And Brandon had just gotten out. He got hurt. He was burnt out. He was very unhappy with what was going on with him currently. And I needed a new character, a new gimmick, because the clown gimmick wasn't real popular within promoters. And I had an idea for it. In no way at that time was I real good looking. So I wanted to, because my main thing was I wanted to be a heel. Because slowly, as Brandon and I were starting to split up there, I was showing really good heel work, and he wasn't. So that was my direction, and I wanted to kind of incorporate my trainer a little bit, but also do a character that had the narcissistic attitude, who was obsessed with himself.
What made you actually want to become a heel?
Well, when I started as a face, and I couldn't. I found I went to a company once and they had me wrestle as a heel, and I had never been heel. I'd been face every time, and I found that I was more satisfied with working as a heel because I had some real life things going on that I could express myself without anyone really hating me
Yeah.
long term as a heel, and it felt more natural for me. But I was thinking of a pretty boy name, and I was trying to think of all these different names that sound like a pretty boy name. And my wife just happened to be watching The Notebook the night that I came up with the name, and that's where I got Noah. And I wanted to. I mean, I pretty much owe everything to my trainer for getting me out of my first situation that I was in with a guy that started training me, and I probably would have gone nowhere, and I wouldn't be who I am had he not just given me a chance. And I went up there and trained with him. So, and his last name is Wilson, so I wanted to kind of do something similar, but not the same last name. And going back to the pretty boy name, Paul Walker. So I'd already come up with Noah, so I stole Walker from Paul Walker, and I got Noah Walker. And then the One Man Wonderland thing, that was completely random. I was trying to think of something that rhymed, but also went with Noah Walker. So the One Man Wonderland, Noah Walker. It just kind of rolled right off the tongue and it stuck.
Now you said that you wouldn't be where you were without your trainer, and basically I want to go over that. You wouldn't be where you were, but did your venue have any impact? What was it like to actually get in the ring for your first time in front of all those fans?
My first show was special, but at the same time it was extremely frustrating because my first show was in my hometown of Peru. But the guy who was running it was the guy that tried to be my first trainer or attempted to train me. And my cousin and I, we threw that entire thing together. Brandon and I, we loaded, tore down the ring, loaded it on our own truck and trailer, brought it from out of town into town, set it all up. We paid for the chairs, we paid for the building, we paid for concessions, we paid for merchandise, we paid for talent. He didn't do anything, and he collected on everything. So we pretty much got screwed out of that, but it was an experience to say the least, and we didn't give up on from that. And we had met who would eventually be our actual trainer, Congo Kong, Steve Wilson, who was an Impact Wrestling superstar, that night. And he just slipped us he slipped me a business card and pretty much told me it'd be smart for you to invest in something a little bit better than what you've invested in currently, which that trainer that tried to train me, his name was Damian Michaels. He used to run a wrestling company called Caution High Risk Wrestling. Damian was always cool with me, but I found out real quick that when it came to the business side of things, that there wasn't much he was looking out for as far as me or Brandon. He was looking to game and not really teach. So getting away from Damian was one of the smarter things I could have done at that time because I wouldn't be where I am and I wouldn't be who I am or as far gone as far or lasted as long as I have had I not gone and got trained by Steve.
Okay, well that brings me to my next question. Which of your promotions were your favorite to work for?
Um,
I mean, other than your current one, of course.
Pro Wrestling King will always hold a special place in my heart because after I got with Steve and started getting trained, we would go to a couple shows and sit as fans and try to learn and listen to the guys put matches together backstage and just watch and try to learn in that aspect. But my first show that I actually got on and then he gave me another chance was we were in it wasn't Monterey, it was Kiwana, Indiana for the Kiwana Fall Festival. And we were wrestling on the baseball field, and it was me, Brandon, and our trainer, I think against the Bishop Brothers and Steven Brockner. And then I did my usual thing. I thanked Eric for giving us the opportunity, and then he openly invited us to come back without our trainer having to set it up. So that place holds a special place in my heart. But Revolution Championship Wrestling, RCW, I was a real jerk when I started there, and I kind of burned a bridge, but they gave me another opportunity, and I've been grateful for it ever since. And I'm proud to be part of that company every single month that they run. I'm proud to be best friends with the owners. And that's my family, that's my clique, and I'll always love RCW.
No, I kind of want to go over what it's actually like to be in that ring. For the people that are actually wondering that have never been in that ring, never been in your situation, what's it like to get in front of all those fans to actually have to perform in front of them, knowing that you could have an error at any time, they could end up seeing it, or just in general stage fright?
When you first start, and I don't think it ever goes away, you don't really, you don't really become who you are. I don't become Noah until the moment I walk right through that curtain. And when I do, it's game time. Getting in the ring and performing in front of everyone, it's gotten to a point for me where I know they're there and I connect with them and I do my job as a performer. But in order for me to give them the best possible me and the best possible matchup, I zone them out. It's like I'm sitting in an empty arena or an empty venue, and it's just me and my partner or my opponent. And it's our job to put on the absolute best performance for that fan's money. And that's the best way that I can do that, is to sit and do my thing and just imagine that it's just me and him and no one's around. But at the same time, it's kind of difficult because you got to focus on the crowd. You got to work them. You got to connect with their emotions. You got to bring them in and help them feel like they're a part of it. But for me, it's the best thing that I can do is imagine that it's an empty house.
Okay, well, let's stick with this in the ring and what it's like, actually like to be in there themselves. What's the most painful bump that you've ever taken?
I think it was my 4th year. I thought I would be cool. I thought I'd be flashy, and I'd do this thing where I took a back bump, but I would land high and try to look like it was landing on my neck. Well, I found out eventually after and it didn't take long, it was maybe a month or two. I developed arthritis in my neck, quick, and I constantly live with neck pain every day. It hasn't gone away since. So don't take back bumps where you land on your head and try to look pretty. Be smart, land safe, protect yourself, take care of your opponents.
In general, I know there's probably a few bumps that you can narrow it down to, but what do you think in your mind is the most painful bump to take in general that you take very commonly?
Landing from a dive. It has to be. I've had some pretty bad experiences. I've had some good ones. But you have to put your complete trust in your opponents during something like that you won't hurt yourself severely. But anything that you land from a dive or house show dive, whether it's foot dive or a top rope dive, anything out to the floor is extremely dangerous, and you got to be careful when you do it.
Now, you've already said that what your most painful bump is, but what's it like being thrown through a table? I gotta ask.
Honestly, it's not as bad as people think. I mean, it does hurt a lot, but everything's different. And some things that you expect to be painful aren't as bad as you would assume. And I'm not going to go on here and say that there's a trick to it. There is no trick to going through a table. It's not fake at all. But, I mean, it's impact. It's full-on impact. It's painful, but some things don't hurt as bad as you'd assume. Some things hurt worse than you'd assume. Tables are one of those things where I've had much worse than a table, but it still hurts.
Well, this doesn't mean that the kids at home should go and give it a try or anything like that. All right. Well, where do you see your career going?
At this point, I just want to have really good matches. I'm not sure that anything above what I'm doing is an option. But if the best thing I can do is stick out where I am, try to better myself, better my matches, better my opponents, that's pretty much where I see my career going. That's my goal.
All right, I think we'll switch over to the April 19th show. I'd like to discuss a little bit about that. Now, I wasn't there myself, but there was some pretty amazing matches in there, I gotta say. I did watch the replays of it, and that Lego match, I've probably never seen anything like that in the indie circuit. That was just brutal. replay a clip from there. I want to talk about that a little bit. And RKO onto the Legos. Now, I know that guy was hurting. How'd that feel on you, though?
That was one of the more painful things I've done in 9 years as a performer. First time I've ever taken Legos, though. Taken tacks a couple times. I'm not sure if tacks are worse than Legos, which is crazy, but Legos hurt.
Yeah, that RKO was pretty nasty. And I did get to see an image of the guy afterwards. I would fast forward to, but I'm not sure the exact timestamp on that one.
Yeah.
He looked like he was pretty brutally bleeding.
His mouth caught a Lego just right, and he lost a chunk of his bottom lip, I think it was. It could have been top, but I think it was bottom. And actually, if you go on to, if you check out Circus City Wrestling on YouTube, the matches are up, and our mobile cam caught a perfect shot of him on the floor after the match, and he's got blood just pouring from his mouth. And that is Theo Storm, by the way, that happened to. I want to give a shout out to all 6 guys that were involved in that match because there was a lot of crazy stuff going on, and a lot of brutal stuff going on, and those guys all put their body, including myself, all put their bodies on the line for the entertainment of our fans. I just want to show some appreciation to all those guys.
Yeah, you guys definitely did great in that show. I was very impressed myself. I mean, I'm head of creative, but I did not expect it to turn out anything like this. I was completely blown away by the match. And as far as you guys taking cuts and everything from those Legos to Ty going through that table, that was just crazy.
Yeah,
It actually makes me want to get on Facebook and argue with those people that say wrestling isn't real.
When I had heard you put the match together, I had every confidence in this matchup because I knew every guy that was involved was willing to go all the way and do everything they could and put everything on the line for the tag team championships.
Well, of course, I expected him to take some beatings, some very brutal beatings, but I think this show pretty much recapped the entire show. This should have been the end match. It was just incredible. And we do hope to outdo this match. Don't get me wrong. I have some very special things lined up. And that brings me to my next point. Alright, so pretty excited to announce we're going to have Circus Mania. The date hasn't really been decided. The venue hasn't really been decided. But we've already been working on a little bit of what we want to see out of these matches. But we haven't decided on who's going there. Now, this goes to the fans and the workers alike. If you want to go, as far as the workers go, you're going to have to do some pretty amazing performances. Because we're going to lay belts on the line. There's going to be some pretty brutal matches.
As far as the date, we haven't picked an actual date, but we know it will be in November. And as far as the venue, we'd like to host it out of the Circus City Arena here in Peru. The downside to that, parking isn't great, but there's a lot of history with this building. Kiss opened up for some band, I think it was Aerosmith, in concert back in the 70s there. Every year they have their annual circus performances there. It's a real special place to the city. And as far as the theme goes, the Circus City Wrestling and circus themed, that would be the right place to be.
Now, do you think I should announce what the main match is going to be, the gimmick, as long as we do get that venue?
I think the plan right now, you had said, was a steel cage match for the main event.
Yes.
We've got a lot of other real neat things that Nico has came up with building up to this event. Hopefully things work out and you guys keep coming back and supporting. And we've got a lot of plans for this, and there's a lot of things that we're investing in and a lot of things we're going to be bringing in for you guys. So be sure to keep following the Facebook page, Circus City Wrestling on Facebook, and look forward to announcements because we will be bringing you updates and an official date, an official venue. There's all different kinds of things that we've got planned that are going on. Anything from, anywhere from bounce houses to meet and greets to VIP packages, a super concessions menu, tons of matches, tons of different gimmicks, all kinds of stuff going on.
We're working to make this as easy as possible on the people that we sell to. We want this to be a good product that people want to keep returning to. I've actually had the idea for a season pass, and I do plan on putting this out in the very near future. I don't want people to have to go there and wait in line. I want them to be able to get in right away. You know, get in there, get sat down, meet people, have a lot of fun. Make sure that you do subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss any events that I have on here. I will be reaching out to people possibly all the way across the U.S. just to get workers on here to interview.